It's always a super exciting day when you get a big package, especially when it's an overlanding fridge for your vehicle build out. This one specifically is the CFX5 45 from Dometic. It's their newest offering. And what intrigued me most about this is I did a ton of research on a ton of different fridges, because you guys know there's a lot of options out there. This one was said to be one of the most efficient. And I need efficiency because in this video, I'm specifically gonna test it on a 300 watt hour power bank. Now I know that sounds crazy, so you'll see what I'm gonna do more specifically later. But first, you need to know that Dometic did not send this to me. I sent this to myself. And what I like to do is test all the marketing claims, because every company has them, as they should. So you can see right here, we got smartphone connectivity. That better work. Off-road ready internal components. I'm gonna be taking off-roading, so it better be ready. Optimized compressor, maximum efficiency. That is the main thing that I want to test. High resolution TFT interface, that's just the screen, that's probably fine. You got some baskets for internal storage and you can take those out, whatever. 46 liters, if they're lying about that, that would just be crazy. These two are the main things, right? The vacuum insulated panels. They said that this is much thicker on this new version, the CFX5 versus the CFX3. This is thicker, which means it is more efficient up here. We are gonna test that in this video. But first, let's get this thing open, show you what it comes with, give you my first initial impressions, and then we're gonna get right to putting it in the truck, in Cassie herself, and testing this thing. It is 99 degrees out here in Colorado today. Perfect test. I'm not gonna pre-chill it or anything. Show you guys some real world data and how efficient this actually is. All right, let's see how we're gonna crack into this thing. It tells me not to use a knife, and sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't, but this one, I don't wanna like cut it off the rip, so we're gonna use scissors. And it's funny when these boxes say heavy, because it's really not that heavy, but you know, team lift required, I guess. Keep them FedEx and UPS people safe. I'm sure it's just a box within another box. Yep. And something like this, you gotta pack it good, right? You gotta have all the styrofoam, okay? A little Dometic thing that's labeled. All right, this part might be a little tricky, because I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff in here. If I can get to the handles. All right, there we go. Okay, let's get that first unveiling. Okay, that looks pretty sick. Definitely clean looking. Some nice gray. I like the top, black. It's got like a little studded pattern, maybe for some grip. Handles right there. Definitely really like the handles. And this thing is not heavy at all. I have a scale in here. We're gonna weigh it for some specs on this video. But just first impressions, obviously with something like this, when it's a fridge, you're not really gonna be moving it fully loaded unless you have it where you're bringing it from your truck or other car to your camp. I'll also load it and tell you guys how heavy it is, but telling you that if you had to like pre-chill this, put it in your truck and then put all your food into it, it's not much heavier than a normal Yeti cooler, right? 35, 45. Oh yeah, smells like that's probably gonna give me some cancer or something. There's definitely some chemicals in there to probably preserve it, but pretty huge. Let's see what's in here. Definitely nice that the basket coming close on this one. This one's pretty sick little feature. So you have this, which divides this whole basket, which you can take out, so that's nice. And then you have another mini basket here. All right, let's see what's in the sweet bag. I'm sure this is just charging cables. So you got AC charging cable, gonna be utilizing that. And I'll also be utilizing this one, which is gonna be the DC cigarette plug charging cable. So I'll walk you through how I plan to run this thing, at least initially, and then we'll kind of see how much it actually consumes in terms of my wattage, right? In terms of watts per hour, all those kind of things, and then might have to change the setup. But the initial setup, I'm gambling a little, so we'll see how it goes, and I'll bring you guys along for the way. But honestly, initial impressions with this, I mean, there's even a light in here. Obviously nothing's working right now because it's not powered, but there's a sweet light. Also, huge feature in a cooler like this, drain plug. Just in case something leaks, something's gonna leak eventually, right? Let's see how the lid feels. Okay, yeah, nice and easy to lock, easy to open too, and It doesn't, I know some of the other coolers that are very popular, I think there's an Iceco one, it will stay up. That is a sweet feature, but it's not also hard to just leave this up like that, right? And then another nice feature they added, and I don't know why they highlighted this so much, but is an integrated bottle opener. That doesn't really, I mean, that's fine and that's cool, but I don't think that's like a huge thing that they should be, you know, marketing like, oh, this super new edition versus our old models. But I will tell you, very comfortable. Even if this thing was loaded, I could carry this with these handles. These are very nice, and it's really nice that they go back on their own like that. Let's see how much this sucker weighs. I was guessing around like 33 to 34 pounds. And we got this scale here, 39.3. So completely empty, that's totally movable. I mean, I feel like anybody can move it. Maybe not like a small child, right? But I want to also just compare, because I have one right here, my Yeti, trusty Yeti 35. This thing feels so light now. But just to give you guys an idea, sounds 20 pounds. So it's double as heavy, but you basically get double the room. Now let's toss in the truck. Let's actually start testing it and see if it is much more efficient or if that's just marketing hype. All right, we're loading up the truck and I want to walk you guys through what my initial plan is, because this thing's supposed to be super efficient. I'm going to use this. This is only a 300 watt hour power bank, and you're probably thinking, Ryan, that is not nearly enough. And no, it's not. But what I'm going to be doing is while I'm driving, I can plug this in from its AC charging cable. I have a outlet right here in the bed of the truck. I can turn that on. It can do 100 watts of charging while I'm driving. So I'm gonna be charging this constantly. And then I'm gonna have the Dometic fridge via DC cigarette plug charging off of this the entire time. Obviously when I stop, then this is gonna take the load. And the reason I'm doing DC, if you guys don't know, if you were to plug this into AC on one of these power banks, you actually lose, I don't know the exact percentage, you lose a percentage of efficiency because it has to convert. So whenever you can, always try to do DC plug. We're gonna see how that fares. We're gonna go on about a 35 minute drive right now. Got a bunch of stuff we're gonna be putting in it, and then I'll give you some more data later on. We made it to our final destination of today. It's nothing too glamorous. There's some sweet red rocks in the background of this state park though. But let's check the fridge. It's been about an hour of us driving, and more importantly, we need to check the power bank. So crank this bad boy open. All right, so the power bank, because I was charging it that entire time off the AC outlet in the bed of the truck, it is still at, let me hop in here. Looks like it's still at 98%. So that's pretty sweet. Now let's check the fridge temp. 37 degrees. So exactly what I set it at. Let's make sure that's actually, let's see. Oh yeah. You can't tell temperature on camera, but let's taste test. Very cold. And more importantly, it's 90 plus degrees out right now. And when I was setting this up for this video, you guys saw, I mean, I was sweating, right? So in here, it was probably more than 90 plus degrees, right? It might have been even 100. So for this to be able to cool down from 77 to 37, barely use any of my battery, I think this is a pretty solid setup right now. We are back at the house because I want to give you a little more bang for your buck in this video. So I got the Dometic CFX5 in the garage, and I got two more tests for you. This one's going to be called the half test. So I got some groceries right here. Right now, this thing is pre-chilled to 34 degrees. It's actually set at 39, kind of fluctuates, right? So showing that 34 to 36 degrees, I have it plugged into AC. Here's the test. I got my power bank that I was using in the car earlier. You're gonna ask yourself, Ryan, why the heck is there a fan strapped to the top of it? And that is because I learned the hard way that not all power banks have a feature where you can tell them, hey, I don't want you to turn off even if you have 0 watts. When this thing detects 0 watts for a certain period of time, it just shuts off. And then the fridge was off, and I'd come in here and I'm like, why is it not even on? Because the power station was off. So let me show you the setup that we got here. If you come in close, we got 100% battery. And then all I'm gonna do is turn this USB on, and then you're gonna see it's gonna pull 2 watts. And to make sure that it goes the entire test, I'm just gonna run the fan. So I'm gonna run this fan. You're gonna see that even when it's running, it's only 2 watts. So over the course of the test, which is probably gonna be about 12-ish hours, it's really not gonna be that much. And I'll do the math for you guys. We'll negate this and only see how much percentage of the battery the Dometic uses. But I need this so that when this is doing 0 watts, this thing does not turn off. All right, so now what we're gonna do is plug the Dometic in to DC. We'll see right here, I'm gonna make sure, plug out, take out AC. So now this is off. Hit this port. We're gonna see the screen kick on here in a second. And one thing I do wanna talk about, because I pre-chilled this for this test, this thing went from 77 degrees down to 39 in literally 10 minutes on AC. So that is super impressive. So we're set at 39, it's 39. And I also wanna show you guys this really quick. So right now I have 2 cups of water, one in the deeper part and one up here. Because hypothetically and logically, this is gonna be warmer than this section down here. So I'm gonna leave these cups in here as long as this test runs. And then I got a very accurate thermometer that I'm gonna test each of those cups of water to see if it matches this. And I'll give you the reading to see how accurate this actually is and maybe the difference of temperature between the two. But now what we're gonna do is load up the half grocery test. It's honestly just a lot of drinks, because what I wanna do as well with this is make it more like a real world test where I'm gonna be coming in here, you know, actually closing it, opening it, and it's not just gonna be closed the whole time. Put one more thing, Larabar, toss it in there. So now we're gonna close it. You can hear that well, I can hear that the compressor's on. It's honestly very quiet, but if we come back in here, you can see now we're pulling about 44, 45, it might go up to 50, 41, I can't really see it. Yeah, 52. So when the compressor's on, yeah, it pulls some wattage. But like I said, this thing will literally take 0 once it cools back down. All right, let's check the time. So it's 9:33 p.m. I'm gonna let this thing run all the way to 0, and you guys will get a really good idea of how much you can expect this to run on, you know, any sort of power bank, because watt hours are watt hours. Obviously there's inefficiencies. I'm using DC, that's gonna be the most efficient. I'll do the math and subtract the fan as well. Then I'll load it fully, give you guys that data. All right, let's check back in a little bit. I am simply amazed by this. 2 things to notice right off the bat. Number 1 is that it is 10:37 p.m. the next day. Number 2, this fan is still on. So you guys know that that means this thing is still being powered by this 300 watt hour power station. So let me turn this fan off and let me show you guys the data. Let's get this thing out of the way. All right, guesses right now, you can comment or, you know, in your head, how much percentage this is left. So this has been 25 hours as we speak right now. And let's also look at this. And I can show right now on screen, this thing has been graphing the average temperature in this garage, which I believe is right around 76 for this 25 hours, which is pretty warm. All right, let's get a little drum roll. So this power station is only at 18%. So yes, it is pretty low, but one thing to say for sure, and I did the math like I said I would for you guys, I didn't even turn this off, is that this fan, while it was on, drew about 17% of this battery. So you can do 18% plus 17%, so that's 25% still left on this power station if you didn't have to do the workaround of having a minimum wattage to pull off your power station so something doesn't turn off. That means that you can reasonably take out even a pretty small power station and run this CFX5 45. Now I wouldn't suggest that necessarily because you might run into issues where maybe it's too warm, maybe your unit is a little more power hungry, these kind of things. But if you have the car set up and say you're driving out to your campsite, maybe it's hour, 2 hours away, you're charging this off your car, this is running completely for free. In that case, this thing would be good for over 25 hours of camping because you're showing up with all that free charge. Now, it would get kind of sketchy if you're starting to prolong into that 2-night territory, but I could see that you would show up maybe on a Friday night, this thing's all charged, it's probably colder than 77 where you're camping, hopefully, right? That's a little warm. So once it gets colder, this will be more efficient. You can run it for that entire next day, go into Saturday night, and then most of the time you're packing up Sunday. So even a 300 watt hour, power station, which are dirt cheap right now, could run this fridge. I'd say the sweet spot would probably be a 1,000 watt hour power station, because they're really not that expensive. If you get like a Pecron or these kind of ones that are not the name brand ones, right? But something that's still gonna work really well for you, you're gonna be completely set for probably 2 to 3 days, and you wouldn't have to worry about charging a phone or doing something else on your power station and fearing that your fridge is gonna die. But now I wanna also test the actual temperature on the fridge. So let me show you that really quick. So this whole time it's been set at 39. You can see right now it's at 34. It will basically shoot up to say like 40, 41. The compressor will kick on and then it will kind of overshoot, which is fine, right? But I wanna see how accurate this temperature is for you. So what I have here is a thermopen. This thing is extremely sensitive and accurate meat thermometer. But as you guys mentioned, or as you saw earlier, and you can also see, here's proof. There was like 6 drinks and now there's only 4. So I have been opening this every time I basically walk by the garage. I've opened it to simulate more of a camping experience. But we got a water cup up here, water cup up here, or down here. So let's see what this one is up here. You saw it was 77. Okay, so that's 50 degrees up here. Now, obviously this is like almost exactly at the top of the fridge. All the warm air is gonna come up here. It's going down a little bit, 48. But this one should be a lot closer to that 39, hopefully. Or I'm gonna have to set this a little bit lower. And obviously every single person's fridge might be a little different than mine. So yeah, this is about 40 degrees right now. So I'd want those both, especially this one since it is kind of high. Like you wouldn't want to store food up here, right? So what I'm gonna do in the future is just set this a little bit lower, because you can even see at 39, it is super efficient. If you have a bigger power station, you're not gonna have to worry about it. And obviously you'd rather be safe than sorry, especially in the woods. You don't want the runs. The only thing you want to run from is probably like a bear or something, right? But you don't want to be stuck behind a tree. So I'll probably set this a little bit lower in real testing. And in my future video too, I want to get an actual temperature mapping gun, because this might not be the most accurate way, but from my research, putting a cup of water is going to give you a pretty reliable result of what the actual temperature is in your fridge, especially when it's been in there for over 24 hours. Obviously it's time to end this video because, like I was saying, this thing, as you can see, the fridge and the power station shut off, because once this thing is down to temperature, there's no watts drawn, which is why it's so efficient. So in terms of my first impressions and first testing for you, I'm so stoked to start taking this on some real camp trips, because when I was gonna buy this fridge, my biggest concern was, am I gonna be able to stay out there for 3, 4, maybe even 5 days and not have to worry about this thing just completely draining my battery? Because you will see in the next couple of videos with my build, I'm not just gonna have a fridge plugged in. I have a fridge, a fan, 4 LED lights, a Truma heat, right? Like I could go on and on. So it's a lot of things plugged in. I had to do a lot of math, and that's why I wanted to test this, because if it wasn't efficient enough, I'm shipping it back. Well, it passed my efficiency test with flying colors, and hopefully you did glean some insight on how this might work in your rig, and actually that the marketing of it has gotten more efficient. Man, this thing is truly efficient, and that 300 watt hours that they put on their specs on their website, it actually did better than that, because it has been 25 hours and it hasn't even pulled a whole 300 watt hours out of this. And obviously, if you guys know, power stations don't just have, like it says it's 300, it's probably more like 280. And with this fan that pulled another 16 to 17%, I'm just overly impressed. If you have any questions about this specific product, please leave them in the comments below. I'm gonna be testing it a lot more for you guys in the future with the build, and just give you more of my impressions on the temperature, because I'd say that's my one major con right now, is I gotta get this temperature dialed, because you don't want your food to be unsafe if you're paying for something like this and relying on it, right? But if you guys like videos like this, deep dive reviews on overlanding gear that you are checking out, then you should definitely subscribe, because there's a lot more videos, probably like these two here.